Yeah, it's gonna be Big East as normal. A couple nationally ranked teams, some top high end individuals. Providence is just getting pounded with rain right now, so I would say that cross country weather is officially here. It's supposed to rain out there. Started raining this weekend. They had a front move in off the ocean there, and it's 3 or 4 days of rain. It looks like Thursday, Friday, Saturday should be a little drier, but I'm expecting true cross country weather and a wet course and some mud, and looking forward to it. Team finished up pretty good workouts last week, and right now it's just checking all the little boxes and making sure we're recovered and feeling good. And first big trip of the year. We've been really fortunate this year. I mean, a bus trip to Missouri has been our furthest trip, and now we're jumping on a plane and heading 1,800 miles or whatever it is the other side of the country. So that'll be an adjustment for some of our kids, especially some of our freshmen who've never traveled before. So we're heading out a day early just to kind of get a little more time to acclimate and a few jitters out of the way. But just looking forward to it. I think the biggest thing is honestly similar to a lot of things that Johnny just talked about. We can't worry about anybody else. If we start worrying about other teams right now in the Big East, that's not going to be a good equation. So we just have to go there and worry about ourselves and put ourselves in the best place to be successful and compete hard and do what we can do and control what we can. We can't control, some of the top teams in the country being at the same starting line as us. So we don't need to worry about that. We just need to go out there and do the best of our ability to compete and beat as many people as we can. Doesn't matter what color that jersey is. If we can do that, we'll have a good day. So.
Questions?
You guys are going into this thing, when you look at what you guys have done so far, how comfortable does the team feel? It's probably more important in terms of the spots they're in and what they're kind of expected to carry in terms of their running times.
Yeah, I think, obviously we're coming off some really, really good historic weeks around here. And, it's been the goal when I took over, and we knew, Coach Fayers and I knew, and this group of kids is knowing too, that it was going to take time to get this program where it needed to be and where we thought it was capable of being. Arguably you're coming off one of the best days in school history for a day on a course. I mean, 3 all-time top 10 marks just on the guy's side in one race. That's pretty crazy, right? So there's definitely some confidence, right? And that's important. Times go out the window, especially in the Big East. That doesn't matter, especially if the course is going to be wet. It's just a matter of competing. But we should feel good. We should feel confident, and I think if we can continue to stay focused on us, we'll be fine. If we start to worry about some of those other jerseys, that's when things can unravel for us pretty quick. And so we've been talking about that all week. Is just do our thing and not worry about anybody else because we can't control that.
Do you instill that when because they're running next to them?
Yeah, right.
It's not like in a game where y'all can stop and
Did,
adjust things.
there's no timeouts.
Y'all running, so like if you're in the rearview mirror and you know it, like how do you avoid the mental hurdles that come with that along in the midst of a race?
Yeah, that's actually something we work on regularly. Whether that be, doing visualization with our athletes on a weekly basis, regular basis, but also in the workouts we put them through. We put workouts in place that create mental strain as much as they do physical strain. And we talk them through workouts like that. We're like, hey, you got to put yourself 1,000 meters to go right now at the Big East Championships. I know it hurts, but what are you going to do about it? And so we talk about those things. We coach through those things. But like you said, Matt, there is no timeout. That's the hardest part about my sport. There'd be 158 times by now that I would have called a timeout in a race if I could have, just had a little chat real quick, like, all right, we're going to be fine, but hey, we need to do this or we need to do that. And I think that's the beauty of our sport, though, too, is, if you were to ask any one of the kids in our team, how much of running is mental, you're getting an answer of 80 to 90%. It's mental. And so it really does come down to it on some point and someday, and in that moment, who does have the most guts, or who is willing to go to the well, or who is willing to push that little bit more, that extra, when you can disassociate the pain and the feeling in your body and just push a little bit harder and a little bit further. And that's probably one of the most beautiful things about our sport, is, it's unlike any other. And it does. It takes a lot of mental fortitude. And, for a young kid, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. And they could be so naive that they just go out there and run as hard as they can and almost see what happens, and there you go for it. At the same time, some of those kids that are juniors and seniors, especially in the Big East, definitely have an advantage of having been there before and raced against some of the most elite competition in the country.
You run at night, you run in the morning, you run at home. How does the potential of weather affect the race?
The worse the weather it is, the more it's going to even the field out. So I'm all for bring on the rain. I'll take it. Yeah. Once that happens, if it's dry and it's hard and it's flat, raw speed's going to come into play. And to be honest, we don't have any sub 4 minute milers on our team, and we don't have any sub 4:30 females on our team, and so that's an advantage that some of those other programs in the Big East have. So the worse the conditions get, the better it is for us. It just kind of takes some of that out of play, puts everybody in a situation where they're grinding a little bit and having to get through, and just having to be a little more strategic in the race, I guess, if you will. And I think it's going to bunch things up. And so if it is wet and muddy, we'll be all for it.
Any other questions?
Just off that, I guess, do you sense that you have a group that would embrace something like that, where it's like just a little unconventional in terms
Absolutely.
of what you're running on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we joked, like I went 3 years of coaching here before we had a decent day of cross country. It was either 105 or mud and snow. And this fall, Fairs and I were talking about it just yesterday. This is the nicest weather we've had in 5 years of coaching here, or 5 seasons of coaching here. And we're due for some adverse weather, and I think that it's one of those things. Even Iowa last year at regionals, it was I don't know, wind chill of like 15 and sleet and snow, right? So bring it on, let's go. And I think our kids will embrace that, and it's just one less thing. It takes everybody's running the same weather. You just deal with it, and if the weather takes your mind off of how bad your legs hurt and how hard you're breathing, all the better.
Anything else?
Awesome. See you guys. Have a good one.